We start off in this galaxy a long time ago, where a group of people found a supernatural element capable of making technology well beyond its time. This was known as vibranium, prima materia. Unfortunately though, not everyone was chill and peaceful about finding Wakanda-level power, so naturally wars broke out between civilizations wanting more and more of it. This eventually led to the creation of the Nine, a group of golem types with the goal of protecting what little remains of the prima materia. They felt that generally humans couldn't be trusted with this element, which, fair, we do tend to mess that kind of thing up. But eventually the Nine got bored of keeping it a secret and just kind of let everyone know about it to see what happens. And, shocking no one, we immediately tried to kill each other. So after that little scuffle with the world, the Nine decided the best way to decide who gets the prima materia is an escape room with zombies, since they did see how profitable those businesses are. These escape games are started by completing a scavenger hunt for a key and objects called the Sentinel artifacts. Really cool sounding name, but boring looks. One is quite literally just a mirror. Eventually, a cult was formed to go directly against the Nine. Their generic-ass name of The Order, led by the High Priest of Chaos, is made up for with the deadly amount of drip coming off their masks and outfits. Seriously, look at this. These are the coolest people in the story. Their deal is wanting to push the world to evolve using the prima materia, but in more of an evil dictatorship kind of way than a peace and love approach. Throughout the story, our main crew will be racing against them to complete the Nine scavenger hunt first. We get into some more backstory stuff between a guy named Alistair Rhodes, who's pretty important, and a guy named Bruno, who we aren't supposed to talk about. After they stole the Scepter of Ra together, Bruno died. But he was okay. That's because Dr. Rhodes gave him a quick poke with the staff. Then a couple years later, a divorced chemist was about to be killed, but was saved by Alistair when he told the Germans he could make them a cool new weapon. What was he being killed for? Well, he messed up making a gas weapon for a war, which
I'm not touching that with a 60-foot pole.
Finally, Alistair found the world's worst spy because he was taking pictures for a magazine cover during the Mexican Revolution. This was to get an artifact key he had on his neck. Here he wrote letters to his daughter, Scarlet, whom he hadn't seen in pretty much 30 years after getting arrested, presumably for stealing hearts with that fantastic-looking beard, informing her of who these three people were and what to do if he was captured by the Order. All of that finally brings us to our first playable map in the story, which is actually the third map released because Treyarch hates you and linear storytelling. This is Dead of the Night, which got its name from the fact that Treyarch decided to be funny and randomly released it at like 3 a.m. one day with no build-up or advertising for the funny. Honestly, I respect it. Anyway, here at Alistair's estate, we follow the journey of 4 characters: the Fortune Teller, the Civil War LARPer, Bruce Willis, and the Butler, who is actually working for the Order unbeknownst to the rest. So it's a really weird combo of people to be at this party. These 4 end up triggering one of the artifacts, thus beginning the world's worst escape game. This is all while Alistair has been kidnapped and tortured, presumably for beard care secrets. Now, this trial just makes them do things that make sense, like shooting a rod with silver bullets and asking each other their zodiac signs so they can find a piece of rock on the ground. They also poisoned some trees, did some satanic rituals, and followed a ghost to fight werewolves around so they can find a piece of rock on the ground. Then they charged up some batteries with fire and secret codes to get a crystal, then went and had a conversation with empty suits of armors that spawned in werewolves via the power of zombie souls, so that they could find a piece of rock. Putting those pieces together unlocked a door with a large good boy inside of it. After angering both PETA and Reddit with how they handled the animal, that being trapping and execution, they were given a reward for completing the trial: the Butler killing them all. But he didn't last long either because our main girl Scarlet pulls a handsome Jack in the cutscene, realizing that her papa is actively being kidnapped. She attempts to chase him down, on the way encountering people with the worst shooting ability since Return of the Jedi, but one eventually managed to open his eyes and at least take out her front wheels, causing a high-speed, head-on collision in a car built in the 1912s. So naturally she was completely fine with no clear injuries. We got on her angrily or sadly reading Alistair's letters while his torture plane flies above. Now that she's our new main character, Scarlet finds her 3 allies in debt to Alistair and boards a little-known cruise ship called the Titanic to collect the Sentinel artifact. It can't just be easy though, or it wouldn't have a map, so the Order also got here to stop them. Just as Scarlet was able to get her hands on it, an Order member snuck up and charged them the overpriced game fee, causing another zombie escape room to get going. Among the notable things they did here were fixing a pipe, shooting at planets that are at least 100 million miles away somehow, looking at a cool underwater tree, and gouging out a very angry eyeball. Clearly all things that would deem them worthy of godly tier powers. So after they complete the trial, every living zombie turned back to normal, with the innocent blood of the unlucky ones on our hand. That means our 4 heroes, I guess, find their way to a glowing blue archway. But in an impossible to foresee event, the Titanic was struck by an iceberg and began to sink. This somehow collapsed the entryway, seemingly made of pure energy. Don't think about it too much. Luckily, cancer-free Walter White had seen that exact same thing in a book before, so he set off to Greece. All this while Bruno subtly indicates to the audience that he has a pretty bad headache. This is a lasting effect from being poked by Alistair's Staff of Ra. So hard cut to our next playable map, which came out at the same time and was actually solved first, creating a lot of confusion: 9. Oh, that's like the group name. The four are a bit exhausted from all their hard work at Voyage, so they decide to take a break and drink psychedelics per the instruction of the voice in their heads. But this leads to a pretty bad trip, and they all wake up in a colosseum controlled by the Order during an artifact trial, this time with 100% more crowd poop throwing. This trial was all about pleasing various gods. Not in that way, though in their stories it does tend to be like that. Instead, they have to do things like melting zombies with acid and fighting hordes of gladiators. Then there's a test of emotional control with the dumb fucking Death of Orion step, where I swear to fuck, I am aiming exactly where this guide is telling me. I don't know why it won't work, holy. After the player replaces their monitor and drinks some tea to calm down, the crew once again commits animal abuse by killing 2 giant elephants. Since the Nine seem to be really big fans of that, they are shown a vision of a door code. The High Priest of Chaos tries to yoink it for himself, but he forgot to ask for consent and was promptly almost killed, only saved by his drip. He then decides that if he can't have it, no one can, and kills our 4 main characters. But they were okay, because that was really just a dream. As it turns out, that code led to the map Ancient Evil, where they meet the voice in their heads and some zombies that are just kinda J-chilling. They're pretty unbothered. The human behind the voice is trapped in a chair, but they can't just untie her or we wouldn't have a map. So they go on a quest to free her and save Alistair, who's also apparently trapped here. Now, things get a little weird from this point, because sometime between riding a Pegasus and killing God, Bruno's headache becomes too much to bear and he secretly kills the war criminal. But he was okay, since Bruno had the Staff of Ra. Sadly now though, both of them have a migraine. After killing God, the voice lady is now free, opening a door to where Alistair is apparently being kept. When it looks like she's about to die, Scarlet decides to be the homie and hang out with her while her friends go get Daddy. But while that's going on, Scarlet ends up freeing the voice lady completely and is thanked in a very personal way. Plot twist though, Daddy and his kidnappers are harder than the average zombies player who just watched that last scene, because, oh no, voice lady's actually Medusa. Diego goes to warn Scarlet, but he is way too late, and she is now no longer moving on the ground. Medusa then says she's gonna go read some books or something and just kinda bounces, which ends the Chaos story. And we never find out what happens next, which kinda sucks. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching. This is a bit of a new type of video for me, so if you liked it, go ahead and give it a like to show me you want more content like this. There's a lot of zombie spin-offs that I can cover in this way still. Subscribe for more zombies content in general. I'm so close to 1,000 subscribers, and I'll see you guys next time.